Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5e and I want to talk about using special mechanics, and specifically I want to talk about using special, improvised or unusual actions, because this is the sort of thing that trips a lot of people up. So when determining how to figure out how to work your special or unusual action, ask yourself this question: is there an action that is better for determining this? So is this going to be better determined by using something like an attack roll? Now I've already done a video on using special improvised attacks. So is there an attack roll, a saving throw? So attack rolls against AC, saving throws. I've already talked very briefly yesterday about special improvised attacks. So if it's going to fall into that bracket, then go with the attack. And that means we're not really dealing with a special improvised action, it's just an attack. But if it doesn't fall into that bracket and we are actually dealing with something that's going to be classified as an action rather than a straight off attack, then there are a couple of things we need to look at. Does the special improvised action try to duplicate a feat in the game already, or a feature in a race, or a feature or ability that a class has? So if it does, I wouldn't allow its use by the player, because what they're trying to do is get you to create a mechanic or a mechanism that duplicates something they should have built into their character to begin with, whether they take the feat, take the character ability or class, or pick up that race. So if it's a pre-existing mechanic, I wouldn't try to duplicate it. But if it doesn't duplicate a mechanic that does already exist, then create your own. Now, there's another thing here that you can use, and that is there a game mechanic that is very similar but not exactly the same, very similar to what you're trying to achieve with your character? You know, the character wants to do a particular thing. Is there something that's very similar? So can you use elements of it? It might not be exactly the same, but it could be very similar. So special actions are then broken down into the following. Either it's going to be a skill check or an ability check. So is there a skill already on the list of skills that would fit what they're trying to do? If it doesn't, then you're going to use an ability modifier or an ability check of some kind if it doesn't fit into the skills sector. The special action being performed, does it need one thing involved, or are there multiple aspects to it? So is one dice roll sufficient, or are multiple dice rolls involved, or are there multiple elements? So think about it in terms of if you think about in terms of Dungeons & Dragons 4e, they had the thing called the skill challenge, where you made a series of rolls. Sometimes it was very short, you made one roll that was just a skill check or an ability check, but sometimes you'd make a series of rolls. So now you've got to decide, as I said, whether they're going to roll one dice or they're going to have to make several dice rolls to determine what actually happens. Okay, now I'm going to talk about, does any dice roll actually have to be performed? Because that's one of the things that tends to pop up a few times. Really, is this going to be automatic success? Is the action they're trying to perform so easy, even though it falls out of the realms of the standard core rules, is it so easy that you shouldn't even require any kind of dice roll and it's automatic success? Or is it more likely to be automatic failure because what they're trying to achieve or trying to do is literally impossible? It's impractical, and assigning any kind of dice roll to it would just make no sense. And then passive checks. Passive checks are when you add 10 plus your ability or your skill modifier. Now this is to represent trying to avoid them metagaming, okay? So they don't know what the dice roll is, to hide the dice roll, and the DM uses that passive check. Or just using the old concept of the take 20. So you just add 20 to whatever their ability or skill modifier is, because they've got so much time and they can repeat the action over and over again, where you don't need to actually make an attack, you're just going to take the old concept of take 20. Add 20 to whatever the modifier is, and it's determined. Done. Or do you start making an active roll? Do they have to make a dice roll? So this is when you have to start setting a DC. So an easy DC would be, very easy would be 5, easy is 10, 15 is medium, 20 is hard, 25 is very hard, and 30 is near impossible, but not impossible. So that's what I want to just stipulate, that 30 represents near impossible, but not impossible. It could be achieved. Whereas, as I said, automatic failure would be sort of indicating that that action is just not possible at all. So those are the things. Now, I'm not going to go through how you figure out whether the action should have a DC of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do follow-up videos to this video and give you very specific examples that you can incorporate into your game. My intention was to do this video a long time ago, and I'm going to actually give you very, very specific examples. Now, the last thing I want you to think about in terms of how to create your special action, which is probably going to be either a contest where you compare somebody else's skill or ability check against somebody else's skill or ability check, as it's a contest of will or a contest of skill of some kind, or are you going to just use the DC as I said? The last thing I want you to think about when you're using special actions is, should I let it happen or should I not? And that's based on, would it be really cool or fun? Would it be really cool to have them tell that story about when you let them do something? And if that works out really well for you, then give it a go, because that's the story that will be told the most, when they got a chance to do something that was really cool, even if they didn't succeed. Okay, so I want to wrap it up there and just say, look, if you found this video helpful or informative, please share and like the video. If you're not already subscribed, then hit that subscribe button and the bell button as well. That'll notify you when I go live and when I publish a new video. If you want to support my channel, then all you need to do is to watch more of my videos. I got like 400 and I do one pretty much every single day. I don't do Patreon, but down in the description you should find affiliate links. You buy something online, I get a small commission, you pay exactly the same price, and the Amazon ones, you don't even have to buy the thing I've linked to. You can just go through the link and buy something else. If you have any questions, I would really appreciate if everybody put all of their comments down in the comments section rather than in the live chat box for today, just so I can get this done and finished. And hey, hopefully this was useful to you. We will be doing more. There are going to be some examples, and trust me, it'll be worth hanging around for. Until next time, keep rolling those 20s.